In this video we will be covering a multitude of different things which varies from information about the boss, the footage for the fight mechanics, and the results from the boss, which includes bank loot, XP, and other things, and wrap-ups. So this is my information card for the Phantom Muspah. It's going to be a bit hard to talk about it and cover it in this slide here, so I just left the information card with most information. This can be found through the OSRS wiki, so it just has some of its max hits, its forms, its immunities when it was released, and interestingly it is counted as a spectral type, if you didn't already know that, so it counts as a ghost, which is why it doesn't drop bones. And it doesn't drop ashes either, but if you have the ectoplasmator in your inventory, it will actually count as prayer XP, and that would be 170. So that's just a little Easter egg, maybe for those that didn't know, with the level being required 40, but you probably have higher prayer than that anyway. I did a little diagram up as part of the boss mastery. I thought this would be important to show how I see this. Now this isn't a guide, remember, this is just how I see it in my head, how I've designed it. What I did was I made sure I understood that there were three main forms: range form, melee form, shielded form, and there was 5 phases from those 3 forms. So starting in melee or range, alternating between those 2 forms, it would then go in phase 2 with the homing spike special. Phase 3 would show the teleport around the room, which is that black looking Phantom Muspah, the purple. Phase 4 would be the shielded form teleporting to the center with a shockwave, and phase 5 would be the post shield form with the range that spawns a greater number of spikes, and you just have to kill it before it is down for the count. So the only real requirement to kill the Phantom Muspah is completing Secrets of the North quest. Now there's obviously quest 2 complete before that, so you might have to look at that on the OSRS wiki. And I just recommend what the OSRS recommends with the info there, and I use Twisted Bow method with the Ghorrock crossbow and the Missouri set, also Ornate Rejuvenation Pool with the Weiss POH Portal Nexus. Now this slide's showing the method that I used, which was a Twisted Bow Octagon Kiting method for the Phantom Muspah boss mastery. Max stats were used. You also take typeless damage throughout the fight with the protection prayers, and the summer pies have a chance of dropping 1 in 9, and they give you energy restoration for this method to work. So just going into what I used to complete this boss mastery for Phantom Muspah. So with over 4k kills, as you can imagine, it does tax you a bit with having to focus. So I was into it a bit with the step back method, but over time I got sick of having to concentrate, especially with my ping in Australia. It's not great, so lag can stuff the step back method up very easily with Phantom Muspah. So what I utilised was a Commander Ziliana run kite method. Obviously the room's a little different with the Phantom Muspah, which you'll see, so I used the octagon method where I ran in an octagon sort of shape kiting. With Tebow though, I found with the drops I was getting from the food, it was sort of the perfect method anyway, not even having to use step back method. So I just used this gear here. So it's the full Missouri set: Twisted Bow, Ghorrock Van Braces, Pegasian Boots, Light Bearer, Ring, Dragon Arrows, that sort of gear. Ghorrock Crossbow, Sapphire Dragon Bolt C for its shielded phase to smite it down. Ruby Dragon Bolt C for the proc at the start of the fight. Book of the Undead for the thralls with the rune pouch. Now I don't have the upgraded rune pouch, which is desired for greater corruption, but because I smite it down with the sapphire bolts, I don't really need it anyway. Also have the divine ranging potion, 2 staminas for the run, and 5 prayer potions, rest in mana rays, and just a teleport. So let's show you the route for anyone curious who hasn't done Phantom Muspah. So if you teleport, so I got it set up with a Whis teleport in my player-owned house in the Portal Nexus. So just click Whis, that will take you there. So you want to go across the little boulder, squeeze through the broken fence. Descend down the staircase, and then you want to go south, entering the cave. And then you want to just head, southeast, just where the crevice is, before we enter. Alright, so make sure you sip your potion. This is what I was doing before entering in, both potions. And it can either start with range or melee. So it's melee. We're going to resurrect our Greater Thrall. And just start the Octagon Kiting. Get the special attack off. That'll switch it to range. So you just want to change back. Once it's got the first 100 HP damage. So yeah, it's about 100 damage it takes, and then it switches back. And as long as, if you get hit and you're running, as long as it's within the game tick, so it's done the homing spikes, so you want to dodge them. And as long as you're running and it attacks you within that, just in that game tick before the attack animation, like that, it won't actually hit you. So you can see I'm sort of running in like an octagon shape here. Which is helpful for this boss because you don't want to get damaged, take any unnecessary melee damage. But sometimes you'll find that you will take damage, and that's okay. So that was one of its special attacks, the homing missiles. Now you just have to make sure you don't get hit by them, basically. You can see that it keeps spawning spikes around the room. Now it's going to do the lightning cloud special attack. So you can sort of run through them there. This is a safe spot I'm just going to show. Usually I just keep attacking them, but sometimes, I just want to safe spot it. And that's a tile marker for that safe spot. So mage is much more effective in the melee phase. So if you do want to utilize without a T-bow, using magic is definitely preferable. And Tumken's Shadow with the T-bow is the best in slot for this boss by far. Especially when you got a Slayer task, it will absolutely wipe the floor with the melee phase. So that's range. So yeah, just alternating between the 100 damage it takes. It's going to be the shielded form soon, so it's just got the 3 forms. So it goes to the center and it does a shockwave attack. It can hit you up to 80, so make sure you protect against that. Now it can either do mage or range in its shielded form, and you can see I'm not on the smite train yet, but I'm going to time it here for a smite. You can also use special attack, but I'm just showing you here that you can just smite it down successfully. And I should have my Thrall out again, which was not good that I didn't have that out. Now, if this happens where you're in spikes, you want to get out of there, so just make sure you get to it. So yeah, that's basically the kill. That's probably not a really great kill time, that one. But often you'll find with the T-bow, it's probably averages around 2 minutes or 1 minute and 50 seconds. Just doing it chill. But that's right. So now we're at the stage of looking at what boss mastery actually is with completion, and one side of it is the combat achievements that were all completed. So there's 13 for the Phantom Muspah in total, and I completed all 13. As you can see, it's a green bar with that 13. Just on the combat achievement Phantom Muspah page, which lists the attack styles, and it uses all attack styles. Immunities and slay categories there. Combat level 741, kill count 4523, but I completed this with 4515 KC was my last collection log needed. Was the Muphin pet, which I achieved yesterday. Personal best time is 1 minute and 26 seconds. If we go into the combat achievements, you can see it pretty much has all the way from hard through to Grandmaster, but it only starts utilising the different types other than kill count at elite. So the one I found the most difficult, no, it's all subjective, but the one I found most difficult was more than just a ranged weapon, which is killing the Phantom Muspah by only dealing damage to it with the Salamander, and it's a restriction type master combat achievement. I didn't utilise the step back method, and I just used the octagon running method with it, and it was a lot harder and difficult, but got there in the end and got the achievement. Phantom Muspah Manipulate is another tougher one, and Speedrun is probably one of the hardest to achieve with just the T-bow doing the octagon, because you really have to push it to get the time under 1 minute and 30, or 1 minute on 1 minute and 30 you can get the achievement, which I did. So yeah, that one's probably for most players would be harder if they, don't have a T-bow, especially. It would be difficult. But all in all, not very difficult for those combat achievements, which was awesome. Now, if we go into the collection log, you can see here Phantom Muspah I've obtained. This is the other side of the boss mastery. So once these are both green, it means that I've mastered the boss, which is excellent news for this being my first episode. So you've got the Muphin pet, which I've got there. Oh, sorry, get out of that. The Muphin pet, I got 49 Venonata shards. That's pretty good, above my 4.5k kills. So that's over that. I've got 4 extra over the 1 in the 100 drop rate, which is pretty cool at capped. Check the ancient icons. That's 103. That's pretty cool. So they can be used with the ancient stuff, with the ancient scepter. And this is important coming up to Desert Treasure 2, where they'll have gems like blood gems, ice gems, shadow gems, and the smoke gems you can put in, and enhances the ancient scepter. So they will be important. Probably for PK, and they'll be used a fair bit, and some niche boss mechanics. Charged ice, so that's pretty cool. That changes a pet. You get that after 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, if you kill the boss, it'll drop every time. And that's once you get it, you won't get it again. It's only a once drop unless you lose it. But you should find in the first, say, 20 or 50 kills, you definitely get one of them. Frozen Cache, that's 182. That's a fair lot of those. I'm not sure what the drop rate was on those. And 65k Ancient Essence, but we know that's just the capped amount for some reason in there. So obviously you can get a lot more. Now let's get into the nitty gritty, which is the bank tab loot, which I know you all want to see. And what I'm going to do is actually show my loot tracker in comparison, just so you can see. So one bill was made at Phantom Muspah. You see the Venonata shards are a little off. That's because one's in the Frozen Cache, but also I got a few on my laptop, when I was at my parents' place, and that's got a different thing to this with Rune Light. So also on my mobile phone I did a few cheeky kills. So the main thing is the Venonata shards, Ancient Essence, and the Ancient Icons, and also the Frozen Cache. So yeah, over 1 bill and also 23 mil from Frozen Cache. So fair good amount of GP from that's from January to now. Over that time I've done other things as well. So the main thing I'll take out of this with the bank tab is what I'm going to do with this loot. So the pure essence I plan to keep to runecraft for blood runes. The herb seeds I plan to keep for herb runs. Yew trees and the palm trees and the spirit tree seeds I plan to keep. This is a pretty incredible boss for spirit seed drops. So I got 71 over the time I killed this boss, and I've kept all of them. So I was pretty damn happy about that. So 71 spirit tree seeds, 27 mil there. That's from selling some back end Venonata shards that I got towards the end there, and they were 8 mil. They're going at 8 mil each now, so it's a great time to sell them coming up to this new Desert Treasure update. The Muffin pet, that's the exam for that one, an overside grub with arms. So that I got that as the last, needing, the collection log. It was the last thing I needed to complete the collection log. What I'll quickly do is show you what it looks like. So this is its form when it drops. It's in the range form. And what I've done is I've used my charged ice on it. And what that'll do is it'll basically use it on the pet, and that charged ice is gone after that. So if I metamorphose, I can metamorphose it into melee, metamorphose into shielded. So that's another one. So that's pretty cool. One thing I was going to bring up, and I might bring up in the end with my just my recap and feedback, is that I wish that the pet had a metamorphosis for the teleport phase, because that one's the coolest looking in my opinion. It's black with purple eyes, and I think the players would appreciate it if it was added. I think there should be a special thing for it, because I know the charged ice was part of unlocking the shielded and the melee. What I think they should do is, if you've completed all the combat achievements, you should be able to unlock a new form that appears on it, or it maybe drops something once you've killed it with that unlocked that you can then use on the pet, because I just think it'll keep players killing the boss, and make it a bit more relevant again after some time. And I also think it's interesting because to add more meta to the achievements, not just that you've completed all the bracket for elite, or you got enough points for elite or master. I think they should also be honing in on you've completed this boss and you're a master at it. So I'd like to see them add that. Jagus, if OSRS team, if you're listening, I might send you some thoughts about that. So yeah, let's keep moving along now. For an difficulty and overall boss rating, first I'll start off with the difficulty for this boss. So with after completing this, I give it a 6 out of 10 for the combat achievement. So it was, not very difficult, but the back end ones with the master and grandmasters were a little more difficult. 8 out of 10 for experience and GP gain. So again, that's a lot of experience, 33 million range XP and over 1 billion GP, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it has a Venonata bow that can be made after the 5 shards, and the Venonata bow is very handy for Slayer, and even bosses. I've found it has little niche and Barbarian Assault, so it does have uses, and that's why it is still valuable. This is just showing my recap in the just in the left side there. So yeah, all 13 out of 13 Phantom Muspah combat achievements completed. All collection log completed, with the last thing in the collection log being the Muphin pet, which was completed yesterday around 9:52 AM Australian time. And obviously 49 Venonata shards there, 103 ancient icons, charged ice, 1 charged ice that I use on the pet, 182 of the chests, and there was probably, I think, around well over 3 million ancient essence, but that was capped around 65k in that collection log, as you can see. And yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience doing this. So for my first one, I'm glad that's out the way. But all in all, it was pretty easily achievable, to be honest. Wrapping this up with my final words, which what I'm going to focus on just quickly here is what I think could be added as a potential reward to the Phantom Muspah, as it doesn't have many uniques, but something that could be added to the pet option, I feel, is the teleportation form, which is this cool looking black sort of ghost form with the purple. Now I think with this, how cooler it looks, I think you could potentially have it as a reward with the combat achievements. All of the combat achievements being completed from hard to grandmaster would unlock this form. Now you could have it as another piece of charged ice or something in the drop table as well to get players grinding there again, or you could just have it as the achievement unlock, sort of like the Jad pet, how you can unlock that after the challenge is completed. I think they'd just add another variant for the boss reward. So just finishing up now with the first season bracket list here. So in green's completed Phantom Muspah as the first boss in the season. You can see in the red the other bosses, and I want you guys to leave a comment as what you want to see from this season, our first season bracket, for the next boss mastery video. Leave a comment what you liked about the video, what I could do better, and I'll see you all in the next one. See everyone. Bye.